All right, what up, besties? It's your girl Sheridan, and I am back with yet another video. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Rebukes and Reviews. Today we are reviewing season 2 of The Braxtons. I am glad that they took the family values off because I think they need to revisit those. I think they need to revisit those. Before we get into the story, make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button. Be commenting down below. I love to talk to y'all in the comments. I'm officially back. I was gone from YouTube for a long time. Baby, it's been a lot going on, but I am officially back. So hopefully I don't have to say that again. Okay. Hopefully I don't have to say I took a break again. You know what I mean? I want to be faithful. Hello. Anyway, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. As we got a lot going on. Also subscribe to my second channel if you like Christian content and lifestyle content. It is called Church Girl Sheridan, so be on the lookout for it. And yeah, in my community tab you will see it. Anyway, let's get into these Braxtons. Now I walked into this season not wanting to give Trina any grace whatsoever. Her or Tony. Um, and it's literally because of the first scene. Now, this scene has already gone viral, and it's a scene of all the sisters sitting there together, all the living sisters. I want to give a shout out to Tracy Braxton, who's up in heaven. Her and her family, God bless them. Now we have the sisters that remain, Tony, Tamar, Trina, and Twanda at a table. They're sitting in a semicircle. They are clearly having a heated discussion. Um, and because Tawanda starts off by confronting Tamar about the fact that she did not want to film with them, at least that's what the production had told her. I do y'all think that's messy of production to tell her like, hey, Tamar, I don't want to film with y'all. I think it's partly messy, but I guess that's just what you have to do in this part for the course. I don't really know. Anyway, Tamar didn't want to film with them, and Tamar says, yeah, you already know why I don't want to film with y'all. One thing I appreciate is the fact that she didn't like backtrack, back down, anything like this. Now, mind you, again, this first scene has already been viral. She didn't backtrack, she didn't back down. She like, girl, you know, I am not fooling with y'all like that. And so she says that she had received, because Tawana's like, oh, I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna just let y'all know right now, Tawanda really irks my nerves. And I used to be a fan of Tawanda, but from the time she first brought Sean on the show, and this is no diss to Sean, I didn't like the way she did it. And that episode, that season, made her, it was other seasons before that too, but it just helped me to look at her like a snake. I ain't gonna hold y'all. So maybe I need to relax, relate, release, and forgive Tawanda, because I be saying that side eyeing her all the time. If I could talk, that would be great. Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm just like getting over a cold. Anyway, y'all. So, uh, Tawanda like, oh, wait a minute, we didn't know, we didn't. Tamara like, listen, I received a cease and desist. Y'all are trying to stop my business. And for people who say, what businesses are they trying to stop? She didn't say businesses. She said business. She's talking about the podcast that's obviously had to be put on hold because of this. I got a question. Trina in that moment said that she did not send Tamar a cease and desist. Now, mind you, Trina was on an earlier episode of Tamar's podcast. And so Trina is saying, I ain't seen you no cease and desist. My name is not on there. But see, Trina don't look all the way innocent. It looked like Trina know exactly who said the cease and desist, okay? And I'm wondering, now the other sisters did not say their names weren't on the cease and desist. Tony, were you a part? Tawanda, were you a part? I need to know these things, but hopefully we'll find out when that episode finally comes. I'm wondering if that's going to be the season finale. Now, I also want to know, did you get a cease and desist from your sisters? Or did your brother, who we're not going to name because I don't want to cease and desist, did he send you a cease and desist? And the reason why I wonder if he sent you one is because he sent his daughter one. And his daughter, Ashlee, is the reason why Tamar has gotten a cease and desist, allegedly. So remember, earlier this year, maybe last year, whatever, a several videos have gone extremely viral where Ashlee Braxton was talking on TikTok about her story dealing with abuse, okay? Whether it was abuse in her home, she alleged that I believe her mother, either her mother or father, one of them or both, abused her. I have to go back to those videos, y'all. It's been a long time, but she alleged to have experienced abuse there. She alleged that one of her aunt's husband was sending her inappropriate text messages. That the aunt knew about it. The aunt, she said aunt. We say auntie. So y'all excuse me. Her auntie, whichever auntie it was, knew about it. But I think we've confirmed who the auntie is. Knew about the situation. We have confirmed that that is allegedly Trina. Found out about the situation. Counter was on her side, like asking her, was she okay, blah, blah, blah. And then that ended. And she was no longer on her side. The reason why people initially thought that the person who was sending her the inappropriate messages was Trina's second husband, Gabe, is because number one of the timeline and everything she was saying and how she was describing everything, and number two because Gabe was at the time, he is deceased now, known for his cyber cheating. That is an area they explored on the show. So it all fell in line. Did we know that he would be cyber cheating with her niece? Where the niece would be looked at as the bad party by the auntie? No, we ain't know that. We ain't know it was no underageness going on. Dig him up. Dig him up. Because I had started feeling bad for Gabe after that Iyanla Fix My Life episode with Trina. I still feel bad in that regard. But if you did this, dig him back up. Exhume the body. Lord, breathe the breath of life back into him so we can ask questions and find the truth. Because what? I'm sorry. Moving on. We end up finding out in Ashlee's series of videos that her auntie then did the reverse, and treated her like she was the bad person. And we come to find out that it was Trina. And it was so disheartening and disappointing. The entire thing was disheartening and disappointing because when we think of the Braxtons, those are not the family values that we think of. You know, they came to us like a good old Christian family that has some issues. Of course, all families have issues, but we didn't expect that. We peeled, I think when we first met them, we learned that Trina was having problems in her marriage, so she was drinking. And I'm wondering, was she drinking because not just was Gabe cheating, but sending these messages to her niece? Did that drive you to drink? That lady then also starts bar chicks and starts becoming a mixologist from her alcohol issues. Child. We also learned that at the time, Tony was going through a divorce. That wasn't a big deal. We ain't never really got deep and down in Tony's business. The only thing she wants us to know is that she has lupus. Tamar at the time was married to Vincent Herbert, and we were looking at them because Vincent didn't want her to go into stardom. Now, I kind of feel like it was just a storyline. Like, Tamar was singing backgrounds and stuff like that, and I feel like that was the story was the launch of her career. We had Tracy, who wanted to be a singer, but still lived in the DMV area with her husband, who at the time they were letting us know had infidelity. Then we had Tawanda, who was stuck being Tony's assistant because her husband, child, he wasn't doing no work. He wasn't working at all, and he wasn't working for her. And yeah, she wanted to act, and she was in a dead end marriage. The mom was still going through the after effects of being cheated on and dogged out by their daddy, who was the pastor of the church. Well, I guess they were both pastors. So those were the things that we were going through. We ain't know nothing about no sexual allegations. Okay, that later comes out in the episode with Iyanla years later, where we find out that Tamar, and it didn't even air. They didn't air that part, that Tamar had been sexually assaulted. And then if you go back and watch some of the interviews that happened as a result of that season, I believe Tracy also said she had been assaulted as well. Don't quote me. Go back and watch the interviews and we can talk about it. So if y'all haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, hello, go ahead, because we're getting into it. So all of that leads up until now. Ashlee's talking about these things, and we are shocked. And here's the thing: the TikTok videos where Ashlee is discussing her story was not the first time she talked about it. It's the time it went viral. And I think it was so astonishing because now that I have looked back, Ashlee has done even an interview about this. So the brother sent her a cease and desist. I'm wondering if he sent it to Tamar as well. We don't know. So I thought and think that Trina was wrong. I don't think Trina intended to be wrong, but I think she was wrong. And I think Trina owes her niece an apology. And I wonder if she could go back in hindsight and do things over again, she would have left sooner. Um, Because here's the thing: at the point at which Gabe died, she and Gabe were besties. So I don't know. I need more. I need Trina to talk because while she's allegedly been saying that's not her story, Trina, we need to understand you more. Cause her and Tony are looking horrible. Tony in that opening scene talking about don't F with Tony Braxton. Tony, you kind of already said all of that. I'm effing with you're effing with a heavyweight. You said that when you and Tamar argued a whole bunch of seasons ago. Um, the repeatedness was just not. It wasn't it. I said not word for word, girl. I don't know, Tony. You look guilty. So the show picks up 3 weeks prior. I said, girl, all that happened in just 3 weeks. I guess they had to force Tamar to film with her sisters 3 weeks after because they probably ain't had none. We'll see. So Tawanda and Trina feel like Ashlee should have come to her. And I would get that if these people wouldn't have set the precedents in their family that exposure is okay. I don't like hypocrisy, you guys. I don't. Now, I understand because I have a couple family members who feel like social media is their outlet. And it's like, girl, if you got an issue, why don't you just go to the person you have an issue with? But this, not that. Usually, with that family, those family members I'm talking about, ain't nobody did nothing to them. They just seeking attention. I don't feel like Ashlee was seeking attention at all. I think she was actually really trying to help people for real. That's what it seemed like. Like her, she didn't even mention her auntie. Her videos were only salacious because they were shocking. But the way she delivered them was so not clout chasey at all. She just has the last name Braxton. And furthermore, she could have been talking about aunties on her mama's side. But whatever. So y'all have set the Braxtons have set the precedence that exposure is okay. Here's what I mean. We watched you on Braxton Family Values. Y'all didn't mind exposing and exploiting Tracy's business. This is prior to death. When y'all got on that show and on that season finale, y'all filmed without Tracy. Tamar was pregnant with Logan. And Tawanda said out her mouth that Kevin Sr. was cheating on Tracy and had a baby on the way, and it was a whole lie. But y'all ain't mad filming that. It was a show. It was her family, and you ain't mind. Many other moments have happened on this show. Y'all didn't mind even exploiting Trina's drinking or exposing Gabe for cyber cheating or all those things. It's okay to exploit or expose what other people are doing, but when it comes to y'all, it's not okay. I don't. We need to stop the hypocrisy. End it. Y'all exploited the heck. And I don't even know if that was intentional or if it just happened. Y'all exploited the heck out of Kevin Jr.'s pain last year. Then, because he's reunited with his father, he can no longer be on the show this year. I'm tired of y'all talking about the word platform. This is our platform. This is our platform. Yes, it is, but using a platform to hurt people and then being upset, but when you get hurt by the same platform, is disgusting to me. So it's cool when you do it, but it's a problem when others do it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So Tamar and Ashlee are out to dinner, and those drinks. Tamar and Ashlee made the drinks look really good. Tamar looks different to me. I don't know if she just got filler, or if it's just the fact that she has uh black hair. I don't know what it is, but she looks a little different to me. Anyway, still beautiful, but just different. So Ashley lets us know that she didn't expect to receive any support from her family. Of course not, because she was just putting the videos out there on TikTok. I'm sure she didn't expect them to go viral, and she know these people. These people, um, I know church people when I see them. So here's the thing: the regardless of denomination, a lot of times, when it comes to like social media and stuff, the saints be like, "Don't give Facebook a show, don't give Instagram a show," which I actually agree with. But this wasn't like that type of thing. Um, they're like, take that down, come on, take this down, talking about the looks. I think with the church in general, it's all about the look and not about the person. Like, you have to be a saved person, you need to be a good person, not just appear to be, if that makes sense. Like, let's not be hypocrites. Let's live this thing, walk what you're talking. That's what I mean. And so I am sure that seeing it on the internet um, was like, you're damaging our brands. You know what I mean? And I want to give grace for the fact that um, I know what it's like to experience not that type of stuff, but uh, somebody coming for you on the internet. And I know that that's not a good feeling. And so I give grace for the fact that you wouldn't want that on the internet. My issue is the way you handled the aftermath. But we'll talk about it. Anyway, Tamar says she feels like her niece has completely regressed instead of healed because of the way her family has chosen to handle things. There is no reason why Tamar is the only auntie that has been in constant communication with Ashlee. Why not you, Tawanda? Why not you, Tony? Right, because you guys are upset with her and y'all have made her the villain instead of Gabe. Especially if you already knew what happened. Did y'all hear about this on the internet or did y'all already know? Cause y'all remember that season of Braxton Family Values? Trina was crying buckets of tears. Gabe apologized to her for cheating on her in front of the family. They were at dinner. Trina and her mama go off to have a conversation about the fact, how Trina was so embarrassed at how he had apologized in front of everybody at, I don't know if it was a birthday or dinner or what, but she was just weeping and didn't have on no makeup and she couldn't hardly breathe. Is that this timeline? Was this the messages she found? Or was that another timeline? I really would like to know. All right, anyway, let's keep this going. So, like I said, they literally made her the problem instead of Gabe, even though he's deceased. So, like, what can he do? I wonder, did Gabe's family send a cease and desist? Have they said anything? So, Tawanda says that Ashlee fled the country. Trina didn't. Girl, what? Okay. Perhaps she fled the country because she just couldn't handle being around people who enabled this kind of behavior or didn't at the very least speak up and stay speaking up for her. And she already talked about all the abuse she endured. It wasn't just the auntie situation. It went very deep, and y'all need to watch those videos, so that we could be on the lookout for future generations to come. So Trina says, my number hasn't changed. Your has. Trina, she is the child. Trina's like, if she needed something else from me, she should have said something. Trina, she's the child. She was just, I guess she was expecting you to be the grown up. I don't know. What else did she need to say to you? Especially when you stayed with him. Are you okay? Are you well? Oh, Lord Jesus. What did you want her to call you for? So then we see a scene of Tawana finally acting and she has on a bad wig and good for her. I don't care. So next, Hamar is supposed to be getting some. This scene was hilarious. Everybody was criticizing them from last season about the fact that it was just so heavy, so heavy, so heavy, which makes sense. Their sister died, y'all, but it was also very toxic. If it was just heavy and sad because we were talking about Tracy, that would be one thing. But it was also very toxic because her son was there. If Kevin Jr. wasn't there going through his door, he was the focal point. And I bet you he ain't make as much as them. They probably treated him like a co-star. But last season was starring Kevin Durant the second. Anyway. So this episode at this point was really funny right here. Because honestly, I could tell they tried to make us laugh again because that was like, what the feedback was from the Saints. Like, hey, y'all need to get back to the Braxtons. But baby, the Braxtons that we once knew are gone. They are gone. They didn't know. They didn't know they had this much drama going on in their lives. They knew they swept some stuff under the rug, but this show unearthed the mess that was going on in their family. They had no idea. Baby, what they say, ignorance is bliss. They had no idea. This show was the apple their family bit, or the fruit, because it wasn't an apple that Eve ate. This show was the fruit from the knowledge of good and evil tree. And they took a bite. And suddenly, they could see everything. And God said, who told the Braxtons they was naked? They did. Baby, they showing us they nakedness right here on the WeTV. Anyway, this scene was funny. So Tamar's supposed to be getting some cosmetic work done. A liquid butt lift. I didn't even know that was a thing. it's hilarious because Tamar sees all the needles and is ready to escape. I mean, they even run to the car, close the door, but one of her assistants leaves the person and she's like, dang, we got to go back inside. It was really funny. But I'm also like, Tamar has said before that she's afraid of needles, which is funny because she's not afraid to have work done. And I'm like, girl, how you be getting them fillers done then? Because we see it, but how you be getting that done? Next, Trina goes out with her mom, Miss E, and we found out that Trina is now in real estate. Trina has always had multiple streams of income, which is very, very interesting. I don't know if that happened before the show or after, because that is very interesting because my mind rolls back to season one where Trina, Tamar, and Tony were sitting down at dinner and they were talking about Tony's bankruptcy, and they were talking about the fact that Tony and Tamar were taking care of their mother. And they said, Trina, you ain't never cut a check for mommy. And she said, that is not true. And they said, well, how much? And she said, I beg your pardon, that is not. Da, da, da. And Tony said, I do feel like it is my business because we taking care of her and you ain't contributing nothing. But Trina said, I've always had multiple streams of income. Oh girl, so then why you ain't give none to your mama and let Tony go into bankruptcy by paying y'all? That was me. She ain't going into bankruptcy from paying them. Went into bankruptcy because she's in the shady industry, the music industry. Anyway, um, so Trina is into real estate now, and she sold her first home. Congratulations, Trina! And I really like Trina, y'all. I'm just disappointed in her actions in this case. We found out that the girls are getting ready, minus Tamar. Okay, sans Tamar, getting ready to go to Tulum for a trip for Twanda's bachelorette trip. She asked her mom if she misses being married, and the mama say no. Girl, why would you ask her that? I could have told you that. But I'm wondering, Miss E, do you not miss being married, or you don't miss being married to their daddy? Questions that need answers. So Tawanda is the only daughter who has never had a wedding, so she's going all out. I wish that I was Tawanda's friend, because I would have told her, baby, do not do that Bridgerton thing. Do not. Do not. Get that unit off Sean's head that we're going to see later. Do not. Rebuke. But I ain't her friend. Moving on, Tony is still doing her residency in Vegas. Y'all, you know what? I love how at that sit down, Tawanda says to Tamar, you don't want to film with us, or we heard you didn't want to film with us. Do Tony ever want to film with y'all? She's never with y'all. She is never with y'all. Anyway, so she's still doing her residency in Vegas with Cedric the Entertainer, and she still has lupus. So Tony's manager sets her up with a meeting where she's talking to a filmmaker about a project she has going on, and they talk about alimony and the fact that she paid alimony. And I don't. I wonder how Carrie feels when she be talking like that. Because if I'm not mistaken, he did stop his whole career to like help you build yours. And he was playing for her even up until very recently, like a few years back. So I don't know. Like we saw him playing for her on Baxter Family Values. So I don't know how he feels about that. Anyway, Tamar has her first live show for her podcast. It actually looks good, even though Tony is later going to call her show the Chitlin Circuit. And I was like, Tony, that is rude. I liked Tamar's podcast. I did. I did feel like the third lady with the accent, I didn't need her, but I thought Tamar's podcast was really good. I'm just stuttering. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm not feeling my best, but I didn't want to not come on. Anyway, Tamar's talking about her butt and how it looked. And they did a video of her walking back, and I said, "Girl, your booty's still little. I don't see the improvements. Did y'all see the liquid BBL? I see liquid. I don't see the BBL." Anyway, Tamar brings Ashlee on as a guest to the live podcast, and then it goes off. So y'all let me know, what did y'all think? What do y'all think about all this happening in the Braxton family? And listen, I hope that their family can actually recover. I really truly do. I really enjoyed them. And the time for them to know that they should recover was when they had Bishop Jakes on there. Um, yeah, that was a good time for them to recover. And then you would have thought that they would have gotten closer after Tracy's passing. But the ribbon in the sky for their love seems to have been fading. But I still believe in the Braxtons. I hope they get it together. I hope they do. Yeah. Although there's no more ribbon in the sky, as y'all sang in the first season on the steps, when it looked like the sun wouldn't shine anymore, God put a rainbow in the sky. I hope he put a rainbow in the sky for y'all relationships. Y'all ain't got to be besties like y'all used to be, but at least just do better. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure y'all comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Pray for your girl, honey, because I got this cold. And I'll see y'all on the next thing we watch. Bye.